Hello friends, my name is Chrissy. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today is Tuesday the 26th of July, and as happens in July, for anyone who works in like any sort of area that takes appointments, no one shows in July. Like, I don't even know why I go to my muggle job in July. It's like half of my appointments don't show. So my appointment did not show for this hour, so I thought I'll go ahead and do a YouTube video with the awareness of I will probably be looking at my watch to make sure I don't go over. Oh, my stomach just growled. There will be watch checking because I do have to go back to work in 43 minutes. So just putting that out there. My big mason jar of ice water. I just realized that my office door over here is open, which means one, you may be able to hear my dryer, and two, we may have a feline friend show up to keep us company. But I'm rambled for a minute. Today I want to show you what is in my tarot bag. I have a two-story house. I have a tendency to just leave my crap everywhere. So one of the things that I'm really trying to do out of respect for my space and respect for my husband is to keep my things contained. I love things. I don't know how else to say it. I really find comfort by having things that I love within my reach. So this is my tarot bag. This is an older bag from Birdling. This may be the Weekender. I don't think they make this this color scheme anymore. But this really pretty pink on the bottom, gray bag, little pink on the handles, and there are two little pockets on the inside that are pink as well. One of them I'm not going to show you because it's all boring stuff like, you know, floss, receipts. We have a junk zippered compartment in like every bag, right? Right. So I'm going to not turn my water over as I scoot my bag over to the side. And I should have thought about where I'm going to put the stuff I pull out of it. Let me create some space on the other side of my desk. Chrissy is professional. All right, so let's go. First things first is my little altar in a bag. I have a whole video about this, but I'll give you a little short tour. I have an altar cloth, a reading cloth. This is the one that I embroidered, which is long to fit in YouTube videos or Instagram stories. And then here is, I have crystals wrapped up in this one, so let's be careful. This is my square little reading cloth. This one I quilted with a multicolor thread. I love it. The back is an absolute disaster, and I love it just as much. And inside the square reading cloth lives my favorite crystal ever. This is a piece of chrysocolla. Chrysocolla helps join our internal intention into how we express how our thoughts come from our heart and our brain and out our mouth. It brings all of that into alignment so we can be heard in the way that we're intending to speak. So this piece of chrysocolla is there. My beloved piece of marine quartz. My thumb fits right in here. It almost feels like a wand to me. This came from Enter the Earth. Is that the name? I can never remember the name of the crystal shop in the Grove Park arcade in downtown Asheville. Pretty sure it's Enter the Earth. This is the most I've ever paid for a crystal. I had no intention of buying anything that day, and this yelled at me. And then I put it in my hand and it fit, so it had to come home. I have a little purple velvet bag in here of little babies, a crystal for each chakra, piece of malachite. Of course, we have chrysocolla for throat. amethyst, tiger's eye, red jasper. I guess I could have named them all into the order, but I didn't. And a piece of clear quartz, just to keep them all clear in their own identities. And then finally in this bag, I have a couple of, I thought I had a piece of honey calcite in here too. I don't know where that went. There's usually an orange crystal in here too. I have a couple of essential oils. I have a together blend that doTERRA did during early quarantine, which my friend Stephanie sent to me. And then from Frisky Fish that I don't think are producing anything anymore, I have Happy, which is grapefruit and bergamot, and Snap, that is lemongrass and rosemary. Also on my desk, just an FYI, I also have Supernatural, which is frankincense and orange. These came from the Foot Spa place that's also in Grove Arcade in Asheville. Woke, the Foot Soak place. It's like, I know where it is, but don't ask me what it's called. So this is in my little traveling altar. Let me put all of this up. Let me rescue this piece of chrysocolla I just dropped. That was rude. So now I've put my little traveling altar back together. Oh, there's also a tiny little Mary Magdalene in there too. All right, so that is my altar. I'm making sure there's nothing in there's a mask, but other than a mask, all the external pockets are empty. Now in one internal pocket, the one I want to show you, is where I just keep the things that could get bent. So they live in their own little side pocket. I have my copy of the guidebook for my deck, my Narrative Alchemy Tarot guidebook. I have my copy of the workbook for Inner Wands Tarot School. So that's here that I'm working through my newest deck with, and then the guidebook for tarot for the Drowning World of. One of these days, I'm going to know the answer to that question, but today is not that day. Tarot of the Drowning World. So this is what lives in the inside pocket. Next, let's look at journaling stuff, because that's a small little category. So here I have a decomposition notebook with cute a green little floral pattern. This feels like, kind of reminds me of the backs of older Rider-Waite-Smith decks. This is my notebook where I'm doing my version of morning pages, which I'm calling 3 for me. I had issues with the artist way, and I'll just stop there. I am still really struggling with making morning pages 3 for me a part of my practice, because one of two things happen. Either I start the day super early and I don't have time to do it, or I have nothing to do and I have all day to do them, so I don't do them then either. So I'm just allowing this to be a as needed process, with the goal of doing it twice a week, so that gradually it'll work its way into my psyche, either as something I do need, so I do it more often, or something that is okay to do occasionally, but trusting that like over the next few months, it'll become clear to me if this needs to be a daily practice or if this is an as needed practice, so I can let go of the expectation for it to be every day. My second journal is my absolute beloved Hobonichi Techo cousin. I realize I said that really quick for those of you that may not be in the planner journaling world. This is my 18, 19, 20, 21, will be my 5th year in a Hobonichi Techo. This is a journal, a planner that is on this beautiful, like incredibly thin, very smooth paper with tiny little grid. There are yearly, monthly, weekly, daily pages. I use this both for daily tarot journaling and for to-do list, bullet notes, bullet journal, that sort of thing. I did not use this at all until the month of July this year. I was working through just a bullet journal in a not art journal, but Baron Fig, and I realized I missed my Hobonichi. So what this means is, because the entire first of the year is vacant, I'm able to use January through July as like my daily bullet journal, and then using July as my daily tarot journal. So I'm able to keep them both in one, and I'm just gonna see how that flows for the next month and a half for me to decide what I'm going to do in 2023. But this is my Hobonichi in an old Foxy Fix ballet slipper, I think. I love this. I love this cover very much. It has also been with me since my first Hobonichi in 2018. So those are my journals, just the two. I have my Hobonichi, which is holding just a lot of everything right now, and my decomposition notebook for my 3 for me. I do have another tarot journal, which is actually a smaller Hobonichi that I use for like bigger spreads or for tarot challenges or those sort of things, which again, I haven't been in for a while because I've been so in like tarot school production mode, which if you don't know, this is, like I said, July 26th. Inner Wands Tarot School is now open for registration. We go through the deck card by card. We relate it to the card from the previous day. This all done on video, so you can, it doesn't have to be done daily, with every week either a pre-recorded lecture or a Zoom call to just chat tarot for the 12 weeks of the program. The Discord group is already hopping. It always is. I'm just throwing new people in with the old people in Discord, so you're coming into an established community, which is very exciting. We start the 7th with our first live call where we'll do our first draw. Registration will probably stay open until probably a week after that, just so just so we can catch up. Okay, I gotta get moving. It's 30 after. Then I have my pen cup. This, I'm pretty sure it's from Amazon. My mom got it for me. I bought a black one for my husband, either on Amazon or JetPens. But this is where I have my little pen cup. In chakra colors, I have mild liners, I have flares. Is that it? I have a pencil, I have a Sharpie, I have another pencil, and then I have my favorite, I have a 7-year pen. That's the little gnome. If you know me, I love gnomes. I use my 7-year pen for my 3 for me, my morning pages. And then my absolute favorite pen in the universe. This is the pen that came free with the Hobonichis in 2019. Because I ordered multiple Hobonichis for myself, my husband, other people that year. I had originally 3 of these tricolored pen, white body, pink, very super pale pink finger cushion. I broke one of them a few months ago. I'm still really sad about it. I replaced the ink in these. I also have the teal one from 2022. Somewhere in my house is the navy one from 2021. I don't know where in my house that is. And I think Nathan has a couple of the bright yellow ones from either 2019 or 2020 that I was not a fan of. But these are my favorite pens. I love them. I've tried, these are a Uniball. What are these? I think just the 3 clicky Uniball. I've bought others of these. They're not the same. If anyone happens to have, I know the chances are small, if anyone happens to have the 2019 Hobonichi just floating around, I don't care if they're dried up, I'll pay postage. I love these pins. And one of these I can already tell is starting to break the way the other one did. They get a crack in here and it's sad. Anyway, pin cup. So, so far we have my traveling altar, my 2 journals, my pen cup, and then the books that I showed you earlier. And now we are at decks. I realize this video is probably going to take the place of my what I'm using video that I would do for June. July, this is July. So I guess this is going to serve double duty. So we'll start with my daily draw decks. Every day I draw 3 cards. I draw an anchor card from my deck, the Narrative Alchemy Tarot. I love this deck. I know I'm biased, but each deck has a keyword that is my current understanding expression of tarot. The color of the card represents the chakra that I associate the card with. And then the number at the bottom, the number and the element, there we go at the bottom, is the tarot representation, the tarot correspondence. I lost that word. So that is the card, the deck that I choose my anchor card from every day, and that is the Narrative Alchemy Tarot. From my anchor card, every day I let that, as that percolates, I develop 2 questions for 2 follow-up questions, 2 follow-up prompts that I use a different deck for. And today I'm using the Tarot of the Drowning World. I'm pretty sure that's true. I used this for May and June. I tried doing other decks for July, and this just came right back. We're getting so many majors right there, friends. I love this deck. I love this guidebook because it is pippish and because the descriptions are the name of the majors or the name of the suit and the name of the court cards are in French. I have to go back to the guidebook. So this deck does a really good job with helping me put my assumptions aside, put my assumptions about tarot, my assumptions about what each card means. I have to go to the guidebook to figure out what the deck is. I know you would think I'd have that by now. Look at the sun. I do know that this is the sun, right? Yes. Because of this, I love this deck. I just absolutely, I adore it. I could talk about why and how, the whole thing about how can swimming in hard feelings be beautiful? How can floating, maybe drowning, it's just, this is not the time or the space for me to gush about this deck. But I love it. And I bought it kind of like when I bought the Somnia Tarot. I bought it basically to collect it. I didn't think I'd use it. And I absolutely, these are my ride or dies. These are the 2. If I could only keep 2 decks without question, it would be these 2. Next on the list, next in the bag is my copy of the Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the Centennial borderless. There's nothing particularly, this is what it is. It's an RWS. I didn't think, it took me a really long time to be interested in reading a Rider-Waite-Smith. I feel like I actually had to learn tarot on my own terms to appreciate this deck. I love the Four of Cups. We can talk about that at a different time too. I like this version because the colors don't feel like they're assaulting my eyes. It's more muted. It's not very clean though, like the like here in Temperance, you can see like her dress fades into her neck. I'm not showing you these. Let's do this together, Chrissy. Yeah, it's a Rider-Waite-Smith, and I've grown to appreciate this deck based on tradition. But I read for probably 5 years before this was a deck that I read with. And actually, I didn't read with Rider-Waite-Smith at all until I got a copy of the Vintage Tarot, which then felt a little too dirty. And that's when I came back to the Centennial. The next tarot deck I have is this is gonna fall over. Is the Tarot is Color. This deck, honestly, I tried reading with this as my my daily support, the 2 cards in response to my anchor card, and it felt too sacred. It felt too esoteric, too they're all just sliding around. It has too much to say to be a daily deck. In the same way that I love past life work, but I'm not going to do it every day. I don't have the emotional fortitude, I guess, to do deep work every day. This deck feels like deep work to me. This deck is deep work, and it regularly showed up wanting to do deep work. Because of that, it's not a daily thing. It's there when I need it, and I need it enough, or at least I want to know it's there enough to carry it around the house with me. But it is not a daily draw deck for me, and that is a-okay. We'll end on the Ace of Pentacles because I think it is absolutely beautiful. I love this deck. It almost feels like like how there's maybe that spice in your spice cabinet that you don't use often, but you want it to be there when you need it. Like is this deck like the saffron of my deck collection? I don't use it often and I use it sparingly, but when I want it, I need it. I think maybe Tarot is Color is like my saffron deck. I have 2 more in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get them out and start to reload my bag, or really, this is gonna fall over. Don't mind me, just restocking. I'm gonna try to fast forward this part, but I'm probably going to forget because I'm being honest. All right, so I have 2 decks left. This is the Outgrow Yourself Oracle. I use this deck in my monthly chakra check-in. So once a month, I lay out, randomly choose a card, 1 from each chakra from my Narrative Alchemy Tarot. And then I use this deck to get further information to check in. This deck has a very similar energy to me as far as intensity as the Tarot is Color does. It loves me. It wants what is best for me. Where Tarot is Color goes deep, Outgrow Yourself goes It's very confrontational. It's not only deep, but it's also, it comes with a girl. Again, this is a monthly medicine situation for me. This is not daily. This is not weekly. This is something that I draw, and I go back to. It actually goes on the monthly page in my Hobonichi. I love this deck. I wouldn't want to be without it, but it's a little too confrontational to use on a regular basis. And then the last deck that I'm carrying with me, friends, the fabric for it is still, I'm waiting on it to get to me from Spoonflower. It's wrapped in a handkerchief that was made out of recycled fabrics from India. And this is really living up to its name. This is the Terra Volatile. I ordered it to be, so with this round of Inner Wands Tarot School, my intention is to record, as I check the time, okay, to record all of the content before we get started, before the 7th, so that I can let's show cards as we go, so that I can work through a deck. I can technically go through Tarot School myself with a deck of my choosing. I chose the Terra Volatile. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know that this deck likes me. And I know, I'll be completely honest. Actually, I guess I need to take the vessels out of this if the vessels aren't a traditional part of the 78, don't I? Because there are cups and vessels in here, right? I guess I do. Anywho, focus. I got this deck yesterday. I did the intro reading and it didn't pull any punches. What the deck thinks of itself is the Hierophant, which I read as it has all the answers. How the deck sees me was the Three of Cups, which very much felt like, Chrissy, all you do is party. You don't take things seriously. I know it's a card about community, but that's not how it read to me in the intro reading. And I love when a deck's voice is so clear that it's like, this is how we traditionally mean this card, but Chrissy, this is what you need today. And then for the work that we're going to do together, it gave me the Chariot. So it's about me getting myself figured out, pulling all of my focus into a solid path forward, to removing all of the things that aren't helping me propel forward. And I'm like, oh buddy, this deck, there's a lot of confrontation here. And then when I felt like I needed something, right? I needed a direction card. I needed a guidance card. I needed some indication of where we were going. And the card that I drew then, that was the card on the top of the deck, as I was talking about, it was Prudence. So the sister to the Hanged Man, being willing to get really still, really uncomfortable, really shifting perspective. This is how we're going to do that work. How bizarre was that as I started talking about it, that was the card I flipped over. I'm going to leave it on top. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how we're going to get along. I mean, I feel like, one, I spent the money on it, especially with the shipping from Belgium, I believe. I'm like, I made the financial commitment, and so I mean, I'm here. I'm here for the work, but it's not going to be warm and cozy. And I guess I need that. But anywho, the Terra Volatile. It's got this perfect, beautiful reproduction fabric coming for it eventually. So friends, that's my tarot bag. Journals, resource materials, pens, traveling altar, decks. I carry this bag up and down the stairs what feels like multiple times a day. It makes me happy, organizes me a little. Yeah, she's my buddy. So now I am going to go downstairs. I have 14 minutes before I go back to my muggle job. But what good timing. I'm gonna have myself a banana, maybe a cookie, and then go back to work. Hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon.